When Grease was released in 1978, it quickly became one of the most beloved musicals in movie history, with its mix of catchy songs, lively dances, and the unforgettable story of Sandy, Danny, and their high school friends at Riddle High. The film defined an era. For many people, watching Grease brings back memories of youthful dreams and the excitement of growing up in the 1950s. Even if they weren't alive during that time, the cast of Grease became international stars, and many of them carried the fame into the rest of their careers. But life after the spotlight was not always easy. While some continued to thrive, others faced difficult battles with illness, addiction, or scandal. Some lost their lives far too early, while others struggled with legal issues that changed the way people remembered them. This article takes a close look at the most memorable cast members of Grease who have either passed away or faced jail time, revealing the human stories behind the fame. Olivia Newton-John will always be remembered as Sandy Olsen, the sweet small-town girl who stole Danny's heart in Grease. Her transformation from the shy newcomer to the bold and confident Sandy at the film's end is one of the most iconic movie moments of all time. But beyond the screen, Olivia's life was marked by both incredible success and heartbreaking struggles. After Grease, she became a global superstar, recording hit songs like Physical and performing around the world. Her career seemed unstoppable, but behind the fame she faced personal challenges. She sued her record label in 1979 for unpaid royalties, a case that changed how artists negotiated contracts in the music industry. Her personal life also carried heartbreak when her longtime partner, Patrick McDermott, mysteriously disappeared during a fishing trip in 2005, leaving behind unanswered questions and painful rumors. Olivia's single quotes as greatest battle came in 1992 when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She went through surgery and chemotherapy, sharing her story openly to inspire others. The cancer returned in 2013 and again in 2017, spreading to her spine. Despite her illness, Olivia used her fame to help others, founding the Olivia Newton-John Cancer and Wellness Center in Melbourne, where patients receive treatment and emotional support. She became a symbol of courage for millions of people around the world fighting cancer. Sadly, Olivia passed away in August 2022 at the age of 73, after living with the disease for 3 decades. Her death was felt deeply by fans everywhere, but her music, her performance as Sandy, and her charitable work left a powerful legacy that continues today. Jeff Conaway, who played Kenickie, Danny's rebellious best friend, brought charm and energy to the film. With his leather jacket and bad boy personality, Kenickie was one of the most popular characters in Grease. After the movie, Jeff found success in television, starring in the sitcom Taxi and later in the science fiction series Babylon 5. For a while, his career looked bright, but unfortunately, Jeff faced severe struggles behind the scenes. A back injury during the filming of Greased Lightning left him with chronic pain. To manage it, he turned to painkillers, which soon led to long-term addiction. Over the years, his struggles grew worse as he also battled alcohol and cocaine abuse. Jeff appeared on Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew in 2008, where he publicly shared his fight against addiction. His time on the show showed fans how much he was suffering both physically and emotionally. His absences from work, erratic behavior, and health problems eventually cost him many acting opportunities. His personal life was also difficult, with failed relationships and legal disputes. In May 2011, Jeff was found unconscious at his home and placed in a medically induced coma. He passed away 2 weeks later, at the age of 60. His official cause of death included pneumonia, sepsis, and long-term damage caused by years of substance abuse. Jeff Conaway's story is a heartbreaking reminder of how addiction can destroy even the brightest of careers. And yet, his role in Grease ensures that he will always be remembered as one of the film's most unforgettable characters. Annette Charles played Charlene Chach, known as the best dancer at St. Bernadette's. She lit up the dance floor with Danny Zuko during the Riddle High dance, becoming a fan favorite for her confidence and style. Annette had already built a successful career in television with roles in shows like The Bionic Woman, Bonanza, and Magnum P.I. After Grease, she chose to focus on education, earning a master's degree in social work and later teaching at California State University. She was admired by her students for her dedication and passion. What many fans didn't know was that Annette faced serious health struggles even during the filming of Grease. While shooting the famous Thunder Road scene, she was suffering from a painful ectopic pregnancy, forcing her to lean against cars between takes. After the film, she continued to work, but her life was interrupted again in 2011 when she was hospitalized with pneumonia. Doctors later discovered that she had lung cancer, which was especially surprising since she was not a smoker. Sadly, Annette passed away in August 2011 at the age of 63. Her death was a shock to many, but her performance as Cha-Cha remains a lively and unforgettable part of Grease history. While many Grease cast members are remembered for their deaths, Eddie Deason is known for his legal problems. Eddie played Eugene Felnick, the nerdy but lovable student who often found himself in awkward situations at Riddle High. His nerd persona carried over into other films such as Midnight Madness, War Games, and I Want to Hold Your Hand. He also built a career as a voice actor, lending his voice to cartoons like Dexter's Laboratory and Kim Possible. For a while, Eddie had a steady and successful career, but in recent years his life took a difficult turn. In 2021, Eddie was arrested for refusing to leave a restaurant and allegedly throwing items at police officers. He faced charges including assault and trespassing. Only a few months later, in 2022, he was arrested again in Maryland for breaking into a nursing home. He was charged with burglary, trespassing, and disturbing the peace. Reports also revealed that Eddie had a long history of breaking into neighbors' cars and struggling with mental illness. A Maryland court eventually ruled that he was incompetent to stand trial and ordered him to undergo psychiatric treatment. Eddie's story is particularly sad because he was once a familiar face in comedy and film. But mental health challenges and legal troubles overshadowed his earlier success. Unlike many of his co-stars, Eddie is still alive, but his legacy has been clouded by his recent struggles. Eve Arden played the Sharpton Principal McGee in Grease and Grease 2, delivering witty one-liners that became fan favorites. But Eve was already a well-known star long before joining the cast of Grease. Her career spanned 6 decades across stage, film, radio, and television. She starred in the radio and TV show Our Miss Brooks, earning both an Emmy and an Academy Award nomination. She also acted in films such as Anatomy of a Murder and Mildred Pierce. Eve's style was sophisticated and clever, making her one of Hollywood's most respected actresses. Her personal life, however, included scandals and difficulties. She experienced multiple divorces, and in the 1950s she faced criticism after making controversial remarks during a presidential campaign. Despite these setbacks, she maintained a long career in Hollywood. In her later years, Eve's health declined. She suffered from cancer and heart disease, which eventually caused her death in November 1990 at the age of 82. Eve had kept her true age a secret during her life, and it wasn't until her gravestone was seen by the public that her fans learned her real age. Her portrayal of Principal McGee remains iconic, a perfect mix of authority, sarcasm, and humor. Dennis Stewart played Leo Craterfacebaum, the menacing leader of the Scorpions gang and Danny's rival. His role brought tension and excitement to the film, and he reprised the role in Grease 2. Before acting, Dennis was a talented dancer, appearing in SGT, Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and other productions. His career showed promise, but he faced difficulties with typecasting, as Hollywood often only offered him villain roles. In the early 1990s, Dennis faced his toughest challenge when he was diagnosed with HIV. At that time, HIV and AIDS carried enormous stigma, and many people kept their diagnoses secret. Dennis, however, lived openly as a gay man and was part of the LGBTQ+ community in New York. His health declined rapidly, and he died of AIDS-related pneumonia in 1994 at the age of 46. His death was a painful reminder of the toll the AIDS epidemic had on many performers during that era. While Dennis may not have reached the same level of fame as some of his co-stars, his performance as Craterface remains one of the most memorable villain roles in musical film history. When Grease was released in 1978, it wasn't just another musical film, it became a global pop culture event. The story of high school love, friendship, and rebellion connected with people of all ages. Teenagers saw themselves in Danny, Sandy, Rizzo, and the rest of the gang, while older viewers enjoyed the nostalgic 1950s setting. The music, filled with catchy hits like You're the One That I Want and Summer Nights, made the film timeless. This wide appeal gave the actors instant fame, but fame can be a heavy burden. While some stars managed to build stable careers, others struggled with health problems, personal battles, or legal issues that haunted them long after the bright lights faded. The tragedy of the Grease cast is not only about death or scandals, it's about the cost of sudden fame and how it shaped their lives in very different ways. Olivia Newton-John was already a successful singer before playing Sandy, but Grease took her to an even higher level of stardom. Her sweet image, golden voice, and unforgettable transformation in the finale made her a household name. Yet, Olivia's real life was filled with challenges. She fought breast cancer multiple times over 3 decades, inspiring millions with her courage and positive outlook. She also invested her fame into good causes, building a cancer, wellness, and research center in Melbourne. Her tragic passing in 2022 was mourned worldwide, not just by fans of Grease, but by people who admired her resilience. Olivia's story is bittersweet. She brought joy through her art but carried personal battles with grace and dignity. She remains the heart of Grease, a reminder that behind the screen there was a real woman who faced life's toughest challenges with remarkable strength. John Travolta, who played Danny Zuko, was the face of cool in Grease. His career soared after the film, making him one of Hollywood's biggest stars. But fame did not protect him from tragedy. He suffered deeply personal losses, including the death of his son Jet, and later his wife, Kelly Preston. Travolta also faced tabloid rumors and controversies that challenged his public image. Yet, what makes his story powerful is how he always managed to rise again. Films like Pulp Fiction and Get Shorty proved his talent went beyond musicals. While not marked by jail time or early death, Travolta's life reflects another kind of tragedy, the pain of loss and the pressure of being in the spotlight for decades. He continues to be admired, not only as an actor, but also as someone who endured hardships while remaining strong for his family and fans. Jeff Conaway, who played Kenickie, represents one of the saddest stories from the Gris cast. Handsome, talented, and charismatic, he had all the ingredients for a long career. He also starred in Taxi, another hit show of the time. But behind the success, Jeff was battling drug and alcohol addiction. These struggles affected his career, relationships, and health. He appeared on reality shows later in life, where audiences saw his painful decline. In 2011, Jeff passed away at just 60 years old, leaving fans heartbroken. His story shows how fame can sometimes worsen personal struggles rather than solve them. While people loved him for his role as Kenickie, his legacy also carries the warning of how addiction can rob even the brightest talents of a full life. Unlike some of the more famous names, Lenny Baker may not be instantly remembered by casual fans, but his story is equally tragic. A gifted actor, he was known for his stage work and appeared in Grease as part of the cast. Lenny's career was cut short by illness. He passed away from cancer in the 1980s, at just 37 years old. While he didn't have the same level of fame as Newton-John or Travolta, his talent was undeniable. People who worked with him remembered his dedication, his warmth, and his potential. His early death serves as a reminder that sometimes tragedy comes not from scandal or downfall, but from cruel illness that takes away promising lives too soon. Annette Charles, who played Cha-Cha Di Gregorio, brought energy and flair to her role. Her dance scenes remain iconic, and she had a charm that made her stand out in every frame. But her real life was far from glamorous. Annette lived quietly after her Hollywood days, working as an educator. Sadly, she was diagnosed with cancer and passed away in 2011 at the age of 63. Like Olivia Newton-John, she faced illness with bravery. But unlike Olivia, her story did not get as much attention. Annette's passing reminded fans that even supporting actors in famous films carry stories worth remembering. They may not always be in the spotlight, but their contributions help create the magic audiences love. Dinah Manoff, who played Marty, found success in both television and film after Grease. Unlike some of her co-stars, she avoided scandal and built a steady career. However, tragedy struck her family when her mother, actress Lee Grant, and other close relatives faced struggles and losses. Dinah's life reflects how even when someone avoids the pitfalls of fame, they cannot escape the pain of personal loss. She has mostly stepped away from the public eye, but her role in Grease remains a lasting reminder of her youthful charm and talent. Jamie Donnelly, who played Jan, brought humor and warmth to Grease. Unlike others, she did not pursue a high-profile Hollywood career afterward. She returned to a quieter life, focusing on teaching and family. While she did not face jail or scandal, her story is about how fame can fade quickly. For some actors, appearing in a classic film is a highlight of their career. But life afterward can feel ordinary compared to the glitz of Hollywood. Jamie's story may not be tragic in the same way as others, but it does reflect a different kind of reality, the fading of fame and the struggle to redefine one's life. Afterward, looking at the Grease cast as a whole, their stories show a mix of triumph, tragedy, and resilience. Olivia Newton-John fought illness with dignity. Jeff Conaway lost his battle with addiction, and Annette Charles and Lenny Baker were taken too soon by cancer. John Travolta endured personal losses while carrying the weight of fame, and others faded into quieter lives. The mix of outcomes shows how unpredictable life can be, especially under the pressures of fame. Grease remains a joyful, colorful film, but behind the smiles and songs were real people with struggles as heavy as anyone's. This balance between on-screen joy and off-screen pain makes their stories both heartbreaking and deeply human. Tragic stories of the Grease cast remind us that movies capture only a moment in time, while we remember Sandy, Danny, Kenickie, and the rest as forever young. The actors themselves